Hi, I'm the Alchemist Astrologer, and this is your June forecast for Libra Sun, Libra Rising, and Libra Moon. So this month I'll be looking at the major love lesson and 3 of the most significant dates connected to a love relationship. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic love, just a connection that's significant, someone that you may be closely tied to. So for your major life lesson, you have this Wheel of Fortune. So there could be an issue surrounding travel, money, the future, and whether a bit of luck is involved in your circumstances. Now, as we know, the wheel can spin either way. You could have a rapid improvement in a situation, or something could quickly deteriorate. So there's a focus on luck. Now, perhaps there's luck that you're not recognizing. Could be something that you deem to be insignificant, something small. And yet there is luck running through a situation. There's been a change of circumstance due to some recent behavior or something that you've said. This is a very karmic card, but it's karma that you yourself have set in motion, whether you're conscious of it or not. Now, you may feel like you've made the wrong choice about something, but the wrong choice could actually turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Perhaps something that didn't go your way or turn out as you had hoped is actually working to your advantage. So be aware of that and stay encouraged about your situation. Because this is also about taking some kind of risk, a gamble. And there's always the chance that that'll pay off or that it won't. But the point is your expectation level. If you're overshooting the mark and you're expecting too much, you're going to be disappointed. But likewise, if you have very little faith and you don't expect anything, that also has a bearing on your future. So the Wheel of Fortune means there's a change coming about, something that you set in motion, and you're having to recognize, you're having to play the game of life, basically. You're having to recognize how to leverage your advantage, when to step out there and take a risk. Now, this is a card that's ruled by Jupiter. Right now, Jupiter is in retrograde, and so it tends to hold back its benefits. The point of, which is to allow you time to review why you feel the need to receive something. Is the intention behind it, accurate and authentic to your highest self? So, you could be looking at, trying to gain benefit of something, possibly because of, how you're seen by others, or that's just one example. So you're having to look at what benefit there is, what you're due. It's also a card of exaggeration. So, whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. So it also is tied to the 9th house, your belief system. So we get back to that expectation. What do you believe is possible? The 9th house is the house of expansion. How far can we go? What is the limit? So there's always a bit of luck in pushing boundaries. Now, your affirmation to remember is, I am aware of the difference between love and passion. So you may be looking at relationships to discern exactly what the nature of that connection is. Is this something built on a physical attraction, status, sexuality, or is this love? Love meaning you accept flaws, you compromise, sometimes you surrender, you give over. It's also loving yourself. So knowing the difference between love and passion is important to, what kind of relationship you're wanting to have with another person, how you feel about yourself, what you're willing to settle for. Now, the most important dates for you, well, the most significant love dates are the 11th of June, the 21st of June, and June 15th. So let's look at this in numerical order. So on the 11th of June, you have the Seven of Swords and Death. So there could be some profound change. Now, maybe you're trying to avoid change, avoid death. Maybe there's some kind of close call that you experience. Perhaps there's some loose ends. When you look at this card, there's a lot of debris, and this death is cleaning up some things. So you may be avoiding that, or you may be, perhaps you're relocating. You're getting things in order. There's some kind of profound change here. Something intense, something that may be crisis-oriented. You could be trying to wrap up some details. You could be working through some psychological issues. This may center around large sums of money, or perhaps psychological issues, or sexuality, or investments that you share with others, jointly held property, assets, insurance, wills, legacies. So there's also an issue concerning integrity. Whether someone has been above board, whether they've acted with, integrity, a moral conscience. So there's a lot going on right now. Now, perhaps, you're thinking of relocating. Maybe you have a lot of errands. You're busy taking care of things, cleaning up, putting things in order. Maybe this is a temporary location, or a hotel, or for business, or you're actually trying to move. For some of you, maybe there's a sexual affair going on, something that is hidden, something secretive. The Death card says something will be it goes deep. Maybe somebody is probing something, investigating something. There's an ending of some sort and a new beginning in order to create a much needed transformation. But in the interim, remember, this is stressful, crisis oriented. It's going to be very uncomfortable until you get to the other side. You may make the decision to make this major change, or you may be connecting with agents of change, people who have the power to come into your life. And totally, it may feel disruptive, but again, in the end, this is serving your highest good. This is also going to be a date where if you want to extricate yourself from a situation, you're looking at something intense and deciding, you know what, this isn't for me. I don't want to be involved in this. This is your go free card. You have the opportunity to diplomatically remove yourself from something, or you're going to find that it's harder to get out of something than you had first anticipated. So again, there's some kind of ending or irrevocable change that's taking place that ties to your will to survive, whether that is physically, financially, emotionally, psychologically. There's either a challenge on the horizon on the 11th, or some opportunity, and you're going to have to rise to the occasion in order to face it. You also have grief. So, there's an element here connected to disappointment, loss, betrayal, separation. You may be sorting through the psychological issues connected to that. Or you may find yourself intensely kicking and screaming, trying to avoid the grief. Perhaps it ties to a dream of yours, or something that is unrealistic. Or it could be that you have this fluctuating emotion. Something is not quite as it appears. And for some of you, you're just trying to avoid the grief. Maybe this is about, again, travel, children. There are issues of security, nurturance, and that may be through parental relationships or romance. It could be, again, where do you feel safe? You may have to push through some kind of emotional grief. There's some major changes that are about to take place, and you're getting wind of that on the 11th. By the 15th, there's something, coming to a head. Matters are moving quickly, and so you can expect the unexpected in this situation. So it could be you sent something out, you've gotten a response. Matters are moving quickly, and so you may find that you're on the move. Now, there could be actual travel involved or issues of communication. But whatever it is, there's movement, and you may be trying to start something, launch something. On the 11th, maybe you were tying up some loose ends. You're now, by the 15th, you're raring to go. Something is in motion, and you may be, as I said, experiencing some kind of upheaval as a result of it. Now, if you're on board, if you've crossed all your T's, dotted all your I's, you may be raring to go. On the other hand, something may be overwhelming. Something could take off suddenly that you weren't expecting, and you're having to hurry up, get in gear, and get on board. You also have the Three of Swords in reverse. I don't normally read reversals, but it's come out this way, so I have to honor that. Perhaps a threat is passed. Maybe there was something said or something quickly passed, because again you have this close call that you avoided. Now, for some of you, this may represent some type of settlement. You're getting past the grief. You're releasing it. You're getting over something. For others of you, perhaps the grief, you're feeling it full force. If you were trying to avoid it, now it has suddenly hit you, and something is very intense. Now, the Three of Swords upright says that perhaps there was some bad news, a negative situation, and maybe you were halfway expecting this, and you've resigned yourself to it. You've taken it in stride, and you've moved on to the next thing. On the other hand, if you weren't prepared, if you were emotionally vested in a particular outcome and it didn't turn out your way, you may have difficulty facing the reality, the truth of a situation. But in my opinion, I'm feeling as if this is a passing threat. Something is suddenly occurring that makes you feel a sense of getting past a challenge. You also have intuition, so that's going to be important for you to effectively discern what others are saying and doing. For some of you, this means having that gut check about whether something feels right and whether you should move forward with it. Some kind of encounter or connection you have with a person is going to give you some information. It may not be outright, but you need to pull on your pearls of wisdom. You need to have confidence in your intuition. Trust what you're feeling, even if that doesn't match what's being said. Let's go back to the 11th, because I forgot your advice card. So on this day where you're trying to deal with issues of integrity concerning crisis or stressful situations where there's been some grief involved, the advice is accept the offer. So you're cleaning some things up and something is being put on the table. The advice is to accept that offer. Now, by the 15th, something is moving quickly. You have to trust your intuition about it. The advice is get some help. Now, you may be receiving some help. This could be a day where others come to your aid. Or if not, if something is overwhelming to you, or you're feeling rushed, or you need to make something happen, you need to connect with people who can help you get something accomplished. On the 21st, you have the Six of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, there could be some beneficial changes. There's a lot of movement here. You may be relocating from a particular property or creating some beneficial changes surrounding property. You may be traveling. You may be dealing with travelers. You may be going somewhere that you've been before. Could be you're going overseas. Maybe this connects to an overseas property. There's something going on. And for some of you, this may have to do with moving past a negative, toxic, abusive environment or situation. It's going to require that you revisit either a place, a person, or a situation in order to come to terms, which is going to take some courage, some understanding. And if you want to get to the other side, you're going to have to look at situations from all perspectives. In this deck, it ties strongly to courage, the courage to move past something. Now, the Nine of Pentacles says that, issues of courtesy are important. So perhaps, appreciation for something. Now, the Nine of Pentacles, maybe this ties to self-employment, or maybe it ties to having enough money or time or the leisure to do as you will. For some of you, this may have to do with land, earth, real estate. On a relationship level, you may be connected to someone that you feel is the total package. This person has charm, culture, wit, intelligence, beauty, whatever it is that you admire. But they may be unattainable to you for some reason. Either they're very closed off, maybe they're with someone else, or you're not making that move. It feels like it's out of your league, or this is vice versa. For others of you, the Nine of Pentacles is a complicated card, this could be an issue connected to a mistress, someone wanting to be taken care of, or perhaps a wife. There are issues of expectation, though, at the root of whatever relationship this is. There could be, wanting to be taken care of versus wanting to be fully self-sufficient and independent. And so perhaps there's some kind of conflict with that. Do I want to be free to roam, or do I want to settle down? Do I want someone to take care of me, or do I want to, take care of myself? Or someone expecting that of you. So you are trying to create some beneficial changes with regard to those issues. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. So relating to someone, it could be very service-oriented, or it could be very critical. You may have an ideal that is unattainable, and it blocks you from having fulfilling relationships, or vice versa. Someone may never be satisfied, or the expectation level can be so high that it's unreachable. So again, you've got this 9, this issue of closing something out, bringing it to fruition, whatever that is. And there's some privacy involved in it. Perhaps you may be in some kind of negotiation behind closed doors. Maybe you're moving to a more private property, or you're not telling people what you're doing. Something is going on behind the scenes. Or again, someone you admire is unattainable. It's an individual that's difficult to know, or that's you. You're also patiently waiting. Maybe you're waiting for some privacy. Maybe you're waiting to connect to somebody to create these beneficial changes. Or if this is about travel, you're waiting to travel, or you're waiting for someone to arrive. This is your focus on the 21st. And the advice is dream big, which gets back to this Wheel of Fortune. There's a gamble at play here, a risk that you're taking. And this is about going for it, not settling for less, dreaming big, the possibilities, what could happen. Now, the underlying cards are justice, control, strength. So perhaps the strength to make a decision, the strength to maintain control over something. Or it could be that there's a decision about a romance, your creativity, or a child. Maybe you're connecting with people who are in charge, who make decisions. This could be a legal matter, or perhaps you are making the decision to restore some kind of order or balance. If this is creative, it could be about, line and form, harmony, beauty. If this is about relationships, You may be trying to restore the balance of control. Somebody may be very authoritarian, domineering, aggressive, and you're trying to reclaim your power. Maybe you're dealing with a controlling child, or you're making decisions about who's going to be in charge of a child. Or it could be that control over a relationship. You're making some important decisions. You're at a crossroads, and you may be examining your conscience. There's a strong focus on what's fair. So you may be sorting out assets, responsibilities, obligations. There's some big decisions. Maybe you're trying to choose between two partners. Maybe you need to settle some kind of debt, or somebody needs to be accountable in some way. So issues of conscience, integrity, morality, legality are going to be important during this month. All right, Libra, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notify bell button, and please leave me some comments. Let me know how these dates play out for you.